Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy, Tru Inferno. And we are now in the month of March. Yes, which means spring is coming. And I can't wait because I'm sick of the snow. So, anywho, now if you recall from last week's episode, I told y'all this story about how me and my boys, back in November 2005, we went to this concert that took place on a Sunday. Now, after I did some research, it was GZTI and Lil Rain all in one. So, yeah, it was, all three of them was there. But we get to the heat of the story where after the concert, my boy, the tall one, lost his phone. Or his phone got stolen, rather. And for some dumb reason, Marshall and the crazy one put the blame on me. Now, I got done telling y'all the story. Now, we're going to analyze this whole blame scenario here. So, basically, now, whereas Marshall blamed me at that moment, because, again, he was a little salty because the cops kind of put his hands on Marshall's face and backed him up at the incident. But ever since then, Marshall dropped it. The crazy one, on the other hand, this lasted for a number of years. I believe and then at one point in time, he dropped it. I'm not sure he brought it back up in the sense of, oh, it's your fault, blah, 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 which is not true at all. But here's why he was under the mindset that it was my fault. And there was just one reason, because I didn't win, according to him. And I'm like, really? Like, that's your only reason? Like, if he would have heard the story that I told last week, first of all, he gonna deny the whole part about me. First of all, the one thing he gonna deny is me trying to catch up to Marshall when he was trying to holler at them 5 or 6 chicks or whatever. He gonna deny that. Another thing he going to deny is the fact that the tall one drove. And I believe it was on the record, memory serves correctly, that even sometime after the incident took place, even the tall one admitted that he drove that night. So there goes that. But let's get back to the whole because I didn't one thing. Now let's analyze that for a second. Again, there's 4 of us who went to this concert. Now the one in question here is the tall one because he didn't win. Now that part is true. But if we look at it this way, the crazy one Marshall ran, so that's 2 people. While according to the crazy one, I didn't win. That's 1. So which leads me to the question of who should the tall one roll with? The 2 people that ran or the one that didn't? I mean, if I see 2 of my boys running, guess what I'm doing? I'm running too. I mean, and then according to the crazy one, like I said, if what the crazy one said is true and it's not, if I wasn't trying to catch up with Marshall and holler at them 6 chicks, that means that I'm with the 2 of them, the tall one, the crazy one. So, and Marshall's in front of us. So, again, Marshall and the crazy one ran, but I didn't. I mean, which one should he side with? I mean, it's common sense, right? Another thing wrong with that is by the crazy one saying that the tall one didn't win because I didn't win. The crazy one is giving the impression that the tall one cannot think, the tall one cannot speak, the tall one cannot act unless I say otherwise. So what that means is the tall one can't do nothing unless I say. So that's the thing. That's what the crazy one's saying at that point. I'm like, come on, man, he's grown like at that point. Because this is 2005. We are all 21. So it's like, I mean, he can think for himself. He can act on his own, He don't need me to hold his hand and say, okay, you're running with me, or okay, you're not running. We're just going to walk through this whole massive stampede around us. Which brings me to another point. There was a lot of people there and a lot of people was running. Now, it still puzzles me that the tall one didn't run. And it didn't occur to him that all these people running, but he didn't run. Now, granted, because he's tall, people can just run around him. Me, I wouldn't say I'm the shortest guy. Like me, Marshall, and the crazy one, we're around the same height, but we ain't short. You know, we were around that 5'8", 5'9", 5'7" range. We not short, but at the same time, we're not tall enough to the point where people can run around us. Like, if we were just walking by ourselves, like if we were walking as a group, maybe. But if we was walking by ourselves, no. So therefore, even if I were, let's say that part was true, I was walking with the tall one, I would get trampled. I would get stampede on. So there's no way I could have walked that long of a distance while, I'm going to say millions, while hundreds of people were running around me and not get trampled. I mean, that's impossible. That's horrendous. So there goes that theory. Now here's another theory. Let's get back to the whole point. The tall one drove. Now, as I said in the story, the crazy one also, they ran all the way to the car. So realizing that it's November, so it's probably late November at that, so it's probably cold. So they're standing outside the car, but they can't get in. Why? Because neither one of them drove. The tall one drove. So seeing how they went to the car, the assumption is they want to get out of the area ASAP. Therefore, which brings me to the next point. The phones was off. Their phone was off. So at this point, it's like, oh snap, we at the car. They are not. Let's call them, see where they're at, and then we can go from there. And if they would have cut their phone on sooner, then they would have realized that I've been calling them for 5 or 10 minutes before I met up with the tall one. And then after that, me and the tall one be calling them for an additional 5 to 10 minutes before the incident occurred. So if they would have cut their phone on sooner, they would have picked up. And I would have been like, hey, where are you guys? And they would have been like, we at the car, where y'all at? And we were like, oh man, we were trying to find y'all. We thought y'all was in Kobo, but okay, we on our way. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. No incident. But did that happen? No. Why? Because neither one of them cut their phone on until, what, 30 minutes? 35 minutes? Because you have to think about this way. The concept, well, for the time we got separated to the time I finally reached them, a lot of time has passed. It wasn't like 5 minutes or anything. No, a lot of time had passed. I mean, it don't take 5 minutes to go from Kobo to where we park. No. Like, if anything, maybe 10. But that, you know. So, yeah, there you go with that. So, that's the story, and that's the whole analysis behind the whole "oh, it's your fault" scenario. So as you can clearly see, the game is over, and my team won, and I went 15-9. Had a pretty good game. I also went against Ace of Boy 30, who led his squad, but his squad sucks. So yeah, there you go with that, man. But yeah, y'all know who this is. This is the new Jay Gatsby, aka Mr. Smash Adams, saying peace out, y'all, and see y'all next time.